Hi everyone, this is Tiffany with Raising House and Home, and today I'm going to make chocolate chip cookies. These are the most traditional and most commonly known cookie, and I could not have a Christmas cookie bake-a-thon without making chocolate chip cookies. These are my family's favorite, and I am so excited to share with you how I make them. This is one of those recipes that I can do from memory, and I have made them so many times, and I am excited to share with you how I make them. So right here we have 2 1/4 cups of white all-purpose flour, and over here we have 3/4 cup of sugar. We have 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 sticks of butter, which equals 1 cup, and they have been left out at room temperature, so they are soft and easy to work with. And then we have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and we have 2 large eggs at room temperature, and then we have 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cups of brown sugar. And then the main star of the event is 1 whole bag, which is about 2, maybe 2 1/4 cups of mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. Yes, I said mini. So I like to use the mini chocolate chips because it gets more chocolate into your cookie, and my kids love these. And I try to make these just for special occasions. I use regular size chocolate chips throughout the year, but at Christmas time and around Easter, I will just use the mini ones because it changes the recipe up a little bit. So we have the 2 sticks of butter, and then we're gonna add the brown sugar and the white granulated sugar. And then we're gonna cream this all together. I don't use a hand mixer for this because I find that it makes the cookies too fluffy and more cake-like, and I would rather have them be more like chewy cookie texture. So I do not recommend using a hand mixer. Next, we're going to put the eggs in unbeaten, and you're going to mix them in just a little and then pour in your vanilla. We're going to do all the wet ingredients at once. And then you're going to mix everything in and so that it's all one cohesive dough. Now we're going to take our flour right here, and we're going to add the salt. We're going to add the baking soda, and then I'm just going to take a whisk and whisk it all together and fluff up the flour. I've had a cookie before that had quite a bit of baking soda in it because the baking soda wasn't mixed properly, and that can be quite sour and a surprise when you bite into your cookie. So I always try to make sure now that I blend it in with the dry ingredients. You're gonna add just a little bit, about half of the ingredients, the dry ingredients at first. Chocolate chip cookies have a special place in my heart because my grandmother could never make them. Even from a box, they would always come out really hard or burned. And we couldn't figure out what was happening because she was such a great cook and she was such a great baker. And the only thing she couldn't do was chocolate chip cookies. And I went to home ec and learned how to make chocolate chip cookies. And so one day I made them for her, and they were nice and chewy. And she was like, you need to make these for me. So whenever she would have her card games or bingo or whatever, and she needed a dessert, she would ask me to make chocolate chip cookies for her to take in. And I think she actually did tell them that she made them one time, which is fine. I don't mind. So I have always liked making chocolate chip cookies, and it was something that I could give back to my grandmother who cooked for so many people all her life, and it was really nice to be able to do that. And now for the star of the show, our mini chocolate chips. And we're just gonna pour them all in. That looks like heaven to me. We're just gonna kind of fold all the chocolate chips in. There's so many that you would not miss them. There is going to be a chocolate chip in every single portion of this dough. It is thick, so you're gonna get some muscles. So this is what it looks like when everything is all done. It looks like a big bucket of cookie dough that people eat with a spoon. But we are gonna cook this one. So one of the things that I have learned along the years of making these cookies is that you do not want to mush down the dough. You want to just kind of loosely plop it on, because if you mush it down, then you're going to get like a flat, hard, almost shortbread cookie, and you don't want that. You want them to be a little bit fluffy and like real chocolate chip cookies. So you're going to use about 1.5 tablespoons of dough. And see how it's not really like mushed on there? I just kind of lifted it up loosely. And then you're gonna use your finger. Sorry, my cats are running around. You're gonna use your finger just to drop it. And then you're gonna do the same thing. And you wanna make sure that you give them the space that they need to expand, because if you don't, they're gonna connect and they won't be very pretty because you'll have like broken borders. Don't be worried about the shape that they are right now. When they melt and start cooking, they will turn into a circle. So as you can see, they're starting to melt into a circular shape, and they're not touching at all, so that works great. There's just a little bit left of the cookie dough, so I am going to put the walnuts in this batch. And it was just about maybe a 1/4 cup of walnuts. They're chopped walnuts. I'm going to mix it in for the next cookie sheet filling. So one of the tricks that I have learned over the years is to take out the cookies just before they're done, because they will continue to cook while they're cooling down, and that's what makes them hard. So you want to take them out when they have like that, still on the top is a little bit like the cookie dough consistency, that's, you know, like raw cookie dough. And then when you put it out on a cool plate, they'll continue to cook as they cool down, and they'll be the perfect chewy cookie consistency. If you happen to overcook your cookies or leave them out and they get hard, just take a piece of white bread and put them in an airtight container and just break up the bread a little bit at a time and make sure you cover it, and by the next morning, your cookies will be soft again. So here's our plate of our regular cookies. And then I put our walnut cookies separate on a different plate, because sometimes people are allergic to nuts and you want to keep them separated. Thank you so much for watching. Please click subscribe below if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell to be notified when I put up new videos. Thank you again for all your support. Please be happy, safe, and healthy.